Hey friends, hey! Welcome to my channel. I'm Titty, as you already know. This is Titty Talks, and you're back.
Back again. Shady's back with a new president.
See what I did there? Welcome back to another episode of Titty Talks. And yes, we have a new president. Even though we should overthrow the government altogether, we did get a change in the office, in the presidency. And I think, I don't know, it may be the calm before the storm and a lot is coming, but at least we got to take a deep sigh of relief. There's still more work to be done, still a lot that needs to happen and change, but collectively the world kind of just like took a deep breath, just for now. It kind of reminds me of that video of the Grinch doing yoga.
And release all of those sounds that are trapped in your mind.
Sigh of mother relief, okay? Hope that you got to kind of have a moment of joy to yourself for that. Yeah, you can't really tell right now, but I have on denim pants also, like denim. Real ones know denim on denim is called what? A Canadian tuxedo. So, you know, in case the Canadian government comes across this is my audition. Let me in your country, let me in Canada, let me in Canada, let me in, cause it's ghetto here, it's ghetto here. Let me in Canada, cause I hate it here. Let me in Canada, cause I hate it here. Just kidding, you guys.
Call.
I wanted to come back and talk my shit per usual. Look at what I found. What is this, you ask, dear Titty? This is my diary. This is from, I think the first entry is 2007, and I just found this looking through all of my old stuff. So this is the first journal that I ever had. Now the cover of it naturally says, dance as though nobody is watching you, love as though you have never been hurt before, sing as though no one can hear you, and live as though heaven is on earth. Respect. I had the live, laugh, love journal, you know? So look, I've been through it all. I've been through all the phases. Very much a MySpace-ass journal. This was back in the day before we had emojis and you were still handwriting out the fucking lesser sign and then the 3 to make a heart. This is that. It has a combination of like my inner teenage turmoil and then like a mix of like Wayne and Drake lyrics that for some reason I literally hand wrote all of. But it's crazy to look back and kind of find out like what was going through my mind at the time, what was really prevalent to me before I really started my, I think, like spiritual journey. Before you really even know what anything is, you don't know what the world is. You kind of just are constantly in angst and you hate your life and you have braces. Everything is terrible and you fucking hate life. Like the pages of like drama that I wrote about is insane. So-and-so is dating so-and-so and somebody else said they liked my Hollister shirt, and like just minor details. I write about the cafeteria and the seating arrangements that we have in the cafeteria. Man, but it's crazy because it kind of inspired me for this episode. I really wanted to talk about journaling and getting into what that really looks like. So I've been keeping a journal for a hot ass minute. Unbeknownst to me, I thought this was something that I picked up recently. I was like, oh yeah, you know, I'm grown now, I journal now. Apparently I've been doing it for a long time. Amongst, you know, the funny stuff, there's also a lot of stuff in here that kind of shows me like, growing up, a lot of the trauma that I endured, a lot of the things that I went through, there was like this really easy to read transition of like me experiencing, like I can physically remember experiencing certain events in my life, and then shortly afterwards I start journaling about how I start getting in trouble and I start acting out and I start being super angry with the entire world, which is a completely normal thing for a teenager. For, you know, this is like ages probably 14 through 18. But it's really bizarre to go back and read it as if it's a timeline, and it's just you're flipping through the pages of this timeline. It provides a really cool perspective on what timing really is, what time is really like in your life. As major as things seem, time does move forward, and you know, we do move on and things change, and you know, those things that are so magnified in your life end up kind of in some way, shape, or form, you know, shedding their layers. I think it's just really interesting to know that there's always a way forward. There's always a resolution to things. You know, it's not necessarily that something has happened and you face it and you deal with it and it's over. Sometimes those are lingering things that really get brought to light through triggers. You know, certain things happen in your life that may cause you to react in a way that's not conducive to like who you want to be in this world. Damn, I shouldn't have been that angry, or damn, I shouldn't have, these things shouldn't bother me as much as they do, and we don't realize that there are so many things that, you know, are under the surface that we haven't processed, that we haven't really gotten the time to understand. Finding this journal was kind of like my way of uncovering all of those things and really, you know, putting it under a magnifying glass and being able to understand that those are really important things that happened to me. And even at the time, I knew it because I was going through so much, but I didn't realize the ways that it affected me, you know, long term. And I think taking a look at it is really just a way of putting things into perspective. Like, you know, there are so many things that I did go through and that I came out the other side of, and I'm a better person for it. Whereas at the time it was, you know, traumatic. It affected me truly. So, like I said, you kind of create this shift of there's cause and effect, but there's always gonna be a resolution. It makes you feel better about trusting the trajectory of your life. I think, you know, we're a lot stronger than we really give ourselves credit for. And so you look at things like this and it's like, I never would have thought I made it out of that alive, according to the emotions that I felt during that time, the things that felt so heavy to me. And now looking back, I'm like, I can't even remember, you know, some of these things, or, you know, damn, I did move on, and, you know, there are other things that still need to get resolved. So it gives you such a perspective on really putting everything that you're experiencing and going through on paper. And I think it kind of allows you to take your power back. Like, yes, I'm going through it. Yes, you know, these things are affecting me. Or, you know, I feel sadness, I feel pain, I feel, you know, X, Y, Z. But, you know, also the things that I go through don't define me. The pain in life, I can feel it all the way through and it still doesn't have to define me. I'm still gonna be able to heal. I'm still gonna be able to like live my life and figure out what the possibilities are when I'm healed, and figure out how to love again and how to be present fully in myself. Now it's something that really saves me mentally. It really has like saved my life. It's always gonna be there for you. So it's never something that you have to like, oh my God, I forgot to journal, and it's that, you know, I fucked up and now like whatever. Like, I think sometimes we're really critical and harsh with ourselves when, you know, just pick that thing up and start writing. You have no idea how many times I've worked through something in my head because I've been able to write it out on paper, and I am not necessarily just cycling it over and over in my head. I'm able to like get my thoughts out, get my emotions out on paper. And the really cool part for me is a lot of times I write my prayers down, and to like look back and see certain ways that maybe my prayers were answered, and not necessarily in a way that I would have asked for or would have wanted. And so you get a perspective of, you know, even though it's not something that I maybe thought that I wanted at the time, something better always came along for me. So it's really just a tool to help you understand and process everything. It's crazy how hard you try to hold on the reins of like controlling your life. You try to control details, control certain things, and like it's never gonna turn out the way you want it to. It's never gonna turn out the way you want it to. You hold so tightly that it just ends up having the opposite effect. Like you're never gonna be in control. You have to accept that you don't have control, that it's not your reins to hold so tightly on. You know, you have to really just let go of, I think it's really fear. I think a lot of times we're just so scared of what's to come because it's so unknown. And, you know, sometimes you also want so many things for your life that you want to control how to get there. But that process is so unknown to us. You don't have to know how you're going to get there. You just have to know what you want and trust that that's all going to fall into place. Journaling is a phenomenal tool to do that, because you kind of let go of the stipulations. You let go of this is exactly how something needs to happen for me, and you start kind of shifting your focus to just the end result. When I write, it's a way to express myself, but also to write out my goals and my ambitions and the things that I really want for my life. You kind of get to this point where you get to craft that self of you that is the highest self. And when I mean highest self, I mean that is the person that God truly envisioned you to be. Journaling helps you cross the bridge to your higher self. It's helping you cross the bridge to understanding what is needed from your life and what's needed from you in order to be that highest self, to be that person that you've always wanted to be. Like I said, I'm so Southern. That is gross. I said,
Like I said,
I still journal now. This is what it looks like for me journaling now. Very chaotic, very all over the place, highlighted. But even looking through, this is like a more recent journal that I've had. Even looking through on some of the stuff that I wanted a few months ago is completely different from what I want now. And especially I think before COVID happened, before the quarantine and all that stuff, all of the things that I wanted were different, and rightfully so. Everything changed, you know, the world changed. Things that I wanted for myself obviously shifted and obviously were forced to change. I couldn't hold on to a lot of things that I really wanted because it just was physically not possible. In regards to travel, in regards to, our entire way of living changed. So to look back and see all of those things that I had to mourn, all of those things that I really, really wanted, how they all shifted and they all changed, and I'm okay, you know what I mean? So you think that because you're not gonna get the things that you think you want so badly, now I have new things that I want. So we always find a way to adapt. Inherently, we're very resilient. We're very strong, and we're capable of adapting and capable of continuing to grow and just shedding all these things that no longer pertain to us. And it's just kind of like figuring out the nuances of life. If you don't already, go buy a journal, talk to yourself in that thing. It's really a form of meditation. It's a form of prayer. If you don't already, I highly recommend. Write your shit out, write it down, write it out. It doesn't matter what you say because it's between you and you and you only. it kind of provides for you a sense of gratitude for where you are in your journey. So this is what my life looks like. This is the chaos, the mental chaos that I go through. But it's all good stuff. It's all, you know. So this is a sketchbook, and these are ideas. These are different ideas that I, come across. These are my emotions. This is my inner workings. And you can have a journal that is blank pages and lets you kind of fill it out as you go. Fun. Or you get these journals that are a little more personalized, that have prompts that kind of guide you along. If you're somebody who, if you sit down to a piece of paper and you're like, what the fuck do I write? If you're one of those people that feels a little bit more lost, try to go to a bookstore where they have more of a guidelines journal. So they do have journals with prompts. This one says you put the date, has a feelings check, how I feel today, one thing I'm grateful for today. That's another thing. A gratitude list is a big one that helps you kind of start off your journaling journey. If you wake up in the mornings and you journal 10 things that you're grateful for, it kind of like helps you shift the focus on, damn, I have a lot of good in my life, regardless of what I'm struggling through. This one is a journal that I got called Stunned by Grief. We love her. She is working me out. Something like this I got for grief. But there's different challenges that you go through that have prompted journals. So you can really find something that suits kind of like your level of comfortability and what you're willing to work on. I think about journaling as kind of like how you deal with your inner fitness. I think like we all know that we need to be healthy and work out and get movement in our day and get some sort of fitness regimen because it's healthy for us. And so for me, I've kind of shifted my focus to journaling as this tool for fitness in the same way because it's mental health. So you think about journaling as that treadmill for your inner fitness. You know that it's gonna make you feel good and it's gonna give you those happy endorphins. Sometimes we just don't want to do it because we want to avoid doing the work, but you got to do the work. So it's working out for here, for inside. So you gotta do the work and you gotta show up, and at the end of the day, you're always gonna get something out of it, but you're not always gonna see that result in the moment, if this parallel and comparison is making any sense right now. Girl, I love me a metaphor. Think about it like that. It's like you're working out your mental health and you're not gonna see the results. You're not gonna see that snatched waist and the fat ass immediately. You gotta give it time. You just gotta show up and do the work. So if you're a person who has not yet gotten into meditating and being still, try picking up a journal and spending 30 minutes to an hour of your day just writing, just unloading and unleashing how you feel, what's going on in your life, the things happening to you, X, Y, Z, your prayers, your affirmations, who you want to be, what you appreciate about who you are now, just whatever feels right to you. And that's a great way to meditate. I mean, I don't think that meditating needs to necessarily be sitting cross-legged for 8 hours and and some people that works for some people, but it's kind of like building your way up and you start really understanding a sense of peace in yourself and being able to spend time alone, being able to kind of just be still. I feel like we live in a society where it's always instant information, go, 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 but you have to be able to take time to be still. take time to just be right here. Be right here. Be right here, bitch. I'm sorry, that was what was I saying? Get a journal and use it, okay? I don't care how busy you are. I don't care who you are. Get a journal, start using it, because guess what? Future's discography is not therapy, okay? You gotta work this shit out. Take time to journal, take time to write your shit on a piece of paper, because it's really going to, in time, give you a sense of release. It's giving you a way to understand your emotions. Even if you don't understand it right then and there, in due time, you definitely will. So just like anything else, it's just a tool. You're only gonna get out what you put in. Affirm that everything is in alignment for you. There's so many things that are coming. Earlier, I mentioned the process and knowing what you want, but being frustrated by not knowing how you're gonna get there, or not knowing how you're gonna get the things that you want. But just like keeping a journal allows you to look back and see how these things worked out, have that faith and that trust that those things are gonna work out. And even if you can't mentally and physically see the how, you just have no idea how your life could change. You have no idea what's in store for you. We're sometimes so fearful of the unknown and what could happen, but it can be a really, really good thing how your life can unfold. And if you just continue to believe in the trajectory of your life, and I'm gonna keep evolving, I'm gonna keep being who I am, I'm gonna continue on this path that I know is for me, and I trust that, then it almost starts feeling good to let go of the reins. It kind of feels like, okay, knowing that I'm not in control is actually a good thing, instead of being so scared of it and trying to hold on so tightly. Of course, like, the end goal is always like, I want 1 million subscribers. But I also know if I'm saying what I want to say, then like the other stuff will come. What's really, really special to me is the feedback. Expressing myself and making these videos and just talking to y'all, and then somebody interacts with that and sends me a message and says, hey, you know, what you said about XYZ really sat with me, resonated with me because it's something that I'm going through. Then I feel like that's exactly what I'm here to do. Sometimes we feel alone in the things that we go through, and it's crazy because we're all going through so much. We're all experiencing these things, and we're not so different from each other. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're not so different from each other. We all struggle. We all go through shit. Every single person in this world has their own set of challenges, their own set of things that they're going through. You know, the hope is that the platform can grow, that the viewership, the amount of people that I reach with my messages and all of that can grow. Ultimately, it's not really about that. It's kind of just doing what I love. And for some reason, this is what I love. Talking to people, but also like on the level where we're connecting and we understand each other. We're all trying to figure out what our purpose looks like. The exploration is the most fun part, getting to figure out, you know, how I can express myself, how I can be seen by others and felt. Because I feel like at the end of the day, we all just want to be seen. We just want to be felt. We want somebody to look us in the eyes and say, I know what the fuck you've been through. And I've been there. Thank you for tuning in. Subscribe to my channel, like, comment, share, tweet, fax, email. Carrier pigeon this video and show some love. Let me know how you feel. I'm with you, I'm by your side as we go through life together, as we grow, as we learn, as we celebrate, as we mourn, as we experience life. I am by your side. And I love you. Thank you for tuning in. This has been Tity Talks. love you.